From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Now on Daybreak, IMPD has a new chief of police for now. See who's filling in as leaders search for a permanent pick for the job.
Drug deaths down, a promising trend for fentanyl nationally, but is Indiana following suit?
Cummins Engines is set to recall 600,000 trucks. The details on the emissions scandal settlement. Happy Thursday. Thanks for starting it with us here on Daybreak. It is January 11th.
We'll talk traffic, see if everything's doing well for this Thursday morning here in just a minute. Tara Hastings tackles at this hour.
First, though, let's get to Marcus Bailey, where the forecast for once today seems all right.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Brighter, maybe. Even a little bit of the sunshine.
What's that?
We haven't seen much of it this week. Winds settle down, too, so soak this in because we basically have everything else in the next 48 hours. Rain, wind, maybe some snow, although I don't think snow is going to be the big talker. I think the brutal cold is going to be the thing that we got to kind of pay attention to. We still got a little time before we have to worry about that, all right? Storm tracker is quiet for now. Again, I don't expect any issues through at least the daytime hours today and probably later tonight as well. 37 right now, southwest wind at 19. It is still quite blustery. That's been the case for many of the days this week. So our chills are into the mid-20s. I do think the winds will ease up a little bit more as we go later on into the day. Mid-30s, very consistent across much of the state so far here for this morning. Storm Track 8 Futurecast as we take you hour by hour. Again, some breaks in the clouds, so I think we'll get some sunshine. It's not going to be a completely blue sky, but we'll see a little bit of that clearing. Clouds will likely build back by later on into the afternoon, and that's ahead of our next major system. You'll see the kind of beginnings of that at the tail end of this by later tonight. That's at 8 o'clock. Precip holds off here probably until very, very early tomorrow morning. So no threats for precip here for at least the next 18 hours or so. All right, 36 at noon, 38 for your high. That's actually a little bit above average for this time of year. Big picture. All right. We had a little bit of light snow that worked through last night. That's now cleared, and so now our attention is to all of the colors that you see to our west. There are winter storm watches, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories. A lot of those are staying to our west and north, but we still may get a little bit of snow accumulation out of this system. We'll time all it out in a busy 8-day forecast coming your way in just a few minutes.
Indianapolis has a new police chief for now. The mayor has appointed Assistant Chief Chris Bailey to the top spot in IMPD. Bailey says he will not accept the position permanently, but will tackle the duties during the search for a permanent replacement for Randall Taylor. Taylor is stepping down after 4 years as chief. He faced increasing calls for change in his final months, including one from the concerned clergy of Indianapolis.
We need people that will support the police, somebody that support the men and women who serve us daily. That needs to be in place. At the same time, you got to have somebody who can and will, has the temperament to be out in the community, talk to citizens, etc.
Mayor Hogshead says the right candidate will carry forward the city's progress in community policing.
The White House says overdose deaths from fentanyl are starting to flatline across the country, not increasing for the first time in years. The trend is also happening in central Indiana. The Hamilton County coroner says overdose numbers have been in the mid to high 30s for the last 3 years, with 36 confirmed fentanyl overdose deaths in 2023. He also says more resources are helping, and so is the increase in availability of naloxone. But rural counties in our state do not have the same luxuries.
So what I'm hearing from my peers is, it's there and it's hurting us. And, there's people in our community that unfortunately are dying because of fentanyl, no matter the efforts of our first responders.
The Biden administration is also addressing the global supply of fentanyl and says it is working to secure a commitment from China for more accountability with the drug.
A crash and fiery aftermath snarled the end of the evening commute in Indianapolis. Our crews were there as firefighters dealt with the flames at Meridian and Fall Creek Parkway. You can see them right now, right in front of the Ivy Tech campus. Flames even spread onto the street and curb with fuel runoff. We know the crash involved 2 cars. We don't yet know how badly anyone might be hurt.
In Kokomo, police are looking for these 2 men they say fired guns at an apartment building. Officers tell us the suspects were last seen at the Civic Tower Apartments on Tuesday. Investigators say an argument involving 3 people in the north entrance ended with the pair firing shots. No one was hurt. If you recognize the men, though, you are asked to call Kokomo police. Your statewide news network covers Lake County, where the sheriff says an attempted traffic stop turned into a chase involving a helicopter and a semi-rollover. Yesterday morning, deputies say they tried to stop an SUV near I-94 in Chesterton, in that area. Investigators say the men in the car drove away, went into Porter County, and eventually caused a semi to flip. That driver of the semi was injured their arm. Sheriff says the helicopter had to be used to track the car. Eventually, the car hit an embankment, and the two men from Illinois were arrested. Deputies say they also found a large bag of drugs on the suspects.
From I-Team 8, Indiana-based Cummins says it will recall 600,000 Ram trucks as part of a massive settlement with the government. Cummins agreed already to pay $1.6 billion for, in essence, rigging trucks to pass emissions tests. The Department of Justice says Cummins will also now be responsible for $325 million to be spent on recalls, repairs, and mitigation to offset emissions caused by its use of defeat devices in truck engines.
Installing defeat devices on more than 600,000 vehicles over a 6-year period is wrongdoing. Failing to disclose software on more than 300,000 more vehicles, even after they were under investigation, is wrongdoing.
The EPA says it will continue to prosecute more cases and go after bigger fines to send a message to the entire automotive industry. New on Daybreak, new year brings for many new dreams.
You may even be considering starting a business. News 8's Brittany Noble spoke with a lawyer about how to do it and has some insight. How can you be your own boss?
Well, you can write your own story by becoming your own boss. There's a lot to consider before you start making money. Jamar Cobb-Denard is an attorney and business broker who spent much of his career creating successful businesses, but some completely failed. He knows firsthand that owning a business will allow people a better opportunity to take care of their family.
If you're starting a business, one of the best things to do is take a small pot of money that you've saved yourself, and if you need additional cash, talk to friends and family. Let's say you need $50,000, start with $5 yourself, find 9 other people with $5,000, and then you've got some investor partners to go in with.
Come up with an idea. It's helpful to be knowledgeable about the subject or even work in the field, but also consider buying a business.
Read, study, join some incubators. There are a number of them throughout some of the community centers across our region that can really help. The SBA also has some counselors that can help with business planning, so it's not so daunting. For someone that's new to this process, it's a lot, but it's made a lot easier when there's good counsel around. Find a good CPA, find a good attorney, and find a good business coach that can help.
And after creating a successful business, you can sell it or give it to your kids to create generational wealth. I'm Brittany Noble reporting for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and like us on Facebook.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.